Hello, and welcome to Headway Idea Labs. My name is Wes Okeke, and I am the founder and CEO of Headway. Today, we're going to walk through the journey of an idea, and this is one of the most exciting presentations that I love to do. Why? Because every day I realize there are hundreds and thousands of ideas that come into existence, into the countless minds in our world. But whether that idea is successful or fails is based on that idea's journey. And so today I want to walk through and show you a few very key components that are critical in developing a successful idea. So, three keys before developing an idea. One is pain, understanding your customer's pain. Now, your potential customer will typically have multiple types of pain and multiple levels of pain. But understanding that pain that is very critical, that aligns potentially with your idea or the solution you would like to build, is very important because the value or the success of your solution towards that pain will in turn present to you what that value is to your customer. And that eventually turns into money. If you solve that pain partially, then the value of your solution drops significantly. If you solve that pain accurately, then the value of your solution increases dramatically. And so it's extremely important to understand that pain intimately and how it affects the day-to-day lives of your customers. So obviously having a lot of customer interaction and conversation and visiting your customers to see very, very closely how that pain affects their business, their personal lives, their business lives in the short term and in the long term. Now, many tech companies launch products that don't solve the pain. They actually solve a symptom of that pain. And so when you get a minute, think about the symptoms. A lot of companies develop solutions to solve symptoms. And what happens when that symptom, which is stemming from a pain, that symptom goes away? And maybe a new symptom appears. But when that symptom goes away, so does the value of your solution. Secondly, another key in developing a great successful idea is purpose and passion, right? Having purpose and passion behind that idea. And there are three components to that purpose and passion. One is mission, the other is vision, and your company's core values. And last but not least, a palatable solution. A palatable solution. This is a solution that your customer actually loves, and it's something that they can adapt to and adopt into their lives and their flow of work. Many companies will create and develop excellent technology, excellent products that solve a pain excellently. But the way they have developed the solution, whether it's software in the UI and how they're using it, or hardware and how they're using it, the way they develop their solution, their customers have a hard time using it. And in my 40 years of experience of working with different products and people, it could be a number of things. It could be that their way of life doesn't welcome this new solution. It could be the way they work on a day-to-day basis. It could be something social or cultural that prevents them from using the solution as you intended it. So creating a palatable solution is very, very important. So three things: their pain, you having purpose and passion and driving your solution, but then also a solution that is palatable, that is easily acceptable. Why? Because you intimately understand not just the pain that your customer is going through, but you understand their life behind their work and how they would use it, their life behind work or personal. And that solution fits perfectly in line with how they are currently living, right? If they have to make major changes in how they live, the solution must be extremely good and extremely valuable. Typically, solutions like that have to be life altering. And that person that needs that type of solution has such a great desire to have a life altering solution. If not, if it's something they're using at work, or something that is not as demanding of a change, no matter how good your solution is, if it doesn't fall in line with their normal day of life or work, it could fall to the wayside, no matter how good and excellent the solution is. Now, I mentioned this, know the pain, not just the symptoms. There must be clearly described pain points that your product will fully address and hopefully remove. Without this, the value of your product could be greatly diminished. Now, three quick things. Determine who feels this pain the most, right? You want to find out who feels this pain the most. So you may be talking to a manager, you may be talking to a coworker or a worker that works for that manager, but you want to determine who in this company, what role in this business, or what person in a home, if you're building a consumer product, feels this pain the most, and go and talk to that person. This is why a lot of products that are made for women now are just growing, and a lot of companies that are building products for women are growing exponentially. Why? For the majority of our lifetime, men provided feedback on what women needed. And they didn't really go to the women and start talking to the women that were going through this pain. And now more companies are doing that. They're building much better products for women. Secondly, create their unique profile. So you want to develop a profile for this type of person that is going through this pain. And then thirdly, define a marketing strategy solely to target them. And we will discuss that a little bit more. Purpose. We talked about purpose and passion. Leading with values is important for leaders because it creates and maintains company culture, informs employee selection, guides the direction of company growth, and adds meaning to the work required to maintain the organization. That meaning starts with the leader and passes down to all levels of the team. You think about that for a moment. Purpose. You must understand what your purpose is, why you're building this, and you must believe in it deeply because it needs to filter through your whole organization. Leaders and founders of company that understand their purpose, lead with their purpose, and communicate their purpose end up growing to be very sustainable, powerful, and competitive businesses. Now, think about this for a moment. And if this is all you remember, I'm very, very happy. 91%. Just remember that number. So a survey was done not too long ago, maybe 3 to 5 years ago. And this was a survey that was done worldwide with 600,000 consumers. And the survey, over 600,000 people, states that consumers will switch from a current brand and features to a purpose, mission focused company with the same offering, even if the pricing is the same. So a company will draw 91% of a competitive company will draw 91% of its customers if that company understands how to communicate its purpose and its mission to its customers. So understanding purpose and the power behind your product and your business and how you communicate it is extremely effective. For example, Chick-fil-A's is right now the US's #1 chicken company? No. It is the number one customer service company in the United States that sells chicken. But it's also the most profitable fast food company in the United States, even with a much lesser number of restaurants, and they only work or open 6 days a week. Now, characteristics of a purpose driven idea generator. And this is important. If you're an idea generator, and this is what I call those men and women that have these great ideas, um, there's something unique about them, and you want to be a purpose driven idea generator. Number one, they think outside the norm there and are overly focused on impact, dramatic impact, change in the lives of the people they are developing a product or service. They're never satisfied with the status quo. They're movers and shakers. In fact, they tend to feel depressed or burdened with creating a solution because they're not satisfied with the way things are at. They're self starters. They take initiative. They will work alone if necessary, but if not, they're really great team players. They are also humble and they love to be aligned with other people that share that same purpose. Non purpose driven idea founders and entrepreneurs are can be arrogant and not good at being coachable. Those types of founders will always, no matter how great their business is, they'll have a very difficult time raising money. Purpose driven idea generators either invent something new or they build upon something that's already in existence, but they build upon it in such a way it has a much greater impact and penetration in their market. And they do not care if they work for a company or if they start their own business. In fact, there are many companies here in the US that will hire entrepreneurs that work within companies, and they're called entrepreneurs. And there's several companies I've worked for that they allowed me to become an entrepreneur. I was an entrepreneur, but worked in their business for them as an entrepreneur, or as the term is called, entrepreneur. And why? Because I took initiative. I thought outside the box. I was very passionate. It didn't matter if I worked 40 hours or 60 hours. I was always focused on bringing change and improvement and building upon our services and products. So Headway has 5 steps. We call it the 5 steps to making headway: unlock, explore, plan, build, and launch. And unlock starts with unlocking the value proposition. It's unlocking the most effective value proposition that will create your product's powerful, unique, and competitive fingerprint. And Headway does this by using a company's vision, values, mission, and obviously a solution, a palatable solution that solves a pain. And the vision is, how do you see your company or your business in 5 or 10 years? In a perfect world, what vision do you have for your business? What does it look like in changing its community, its city, the world? What does the world look like with your product in existence? And values we'll touch on a little bit. Your mission is your why. Why are you on this journey? And obviously your solution is either a product of some sort, software, hardware, or potentially a service. And so your value proposition is a few things. It understands your target market, its opportunity, needs over wants, right? A lot of times our value proposition will focus on what people want, which is good at some times, but you need to focus primarily on what do they need, right? What they need will always supersede what they want in regards to value. What it offers, what benefits does it offer? Not how it solves a problem, but what benefits. When that problem is solved, what benefits now come to that person's life, what costs, what values, what personality does the product have, how the combination is superior to other choices, right? And we'll talk a little bit about that. A value proposition is not a mission statement. It's not an elevator pitch. It's not a sales pitch. It's not a feature. It's not this great discount or price. And a lot of companies try to sell on those things, and those things just don't have much value. And they're not very competitive either. So, a value proposition, and this is written by Jeffrey Moore, Crossing the Chasm. And your value proposition has to reach your early adopters. And so, if you see right here, your early adopters are the visionaries. And I'll explain a little bit about that. The 2.5% are the innovators or the techies. These are men and women that will buy products, and they love the products. They can buy the products first, but they don't communicate to anyone or influence. Let's use a better word. They do not influence the early majority and the late majority. The early adopters, these are men and women that are not only passionate about what you're doing, in other words, they're passionate about the problem you are solving. So communicating to your early adopters the passion you have, the purpose behind your solution, what type of solution you're trying to develop, that's very important, because they are just as passionate at solving this problem as you are, but they're not looking to start the business. The idea is with you, but when you communicate to these early adopters, they communicate to the early majority, late majority, and that obviously gets to the laggards. So you think about that. When people are launching a product or selling a product, they focus on the masses. And this group of people here are not going to buy at all. So this is almost 70%, and so it's about 85% here, 84%. And so 84% of the market is not going to buy until 13.5% knows about it. Now, what is important about early adopters? They're influencers. So the early adopters will tell the 50, the 100, the 1,000 people, hey, this is a great product. This solves your problem. I can relate to your problem. I know your problem. I understand your problem. And this company that's developed this solution, their solution will solve your problem accurately. You may communicate to these groups, and they'll love your product. They'll say great things about it when you reach out to them, but they won't make the decision to buy it until these early adopters tell them it's okay to buy it. It's worth the value. Now, again, implementing your value proposition, your mission, the way we use this, we use your mission, and your mission, Headway has a unique way in developing your mission statement. But your mission will go into your product development guide, and I won't get into that today, but we have more information on how to implement that. Your values end up working through not only your product and your business, but also your customer service. The core values that a business has, you want to make sure that your customers and your partners and your employees get to experience those values. So understanding those values and implementing them in your business are very, very important. And then your solution solves the problem accurately, and the vision statement. And we have another very unique way of developing your vision through writing a vision story. It helps provide product experience as well. So your product, men and women, your customers will enjoy the product experience, and it also provides a goal on what this product needs to provide as a solution. And then value proposition, great quote, says many entrepreneurs lose out due to never truly articulating a compelling value proposition. Establishing a substantive value proposition is critical if you want to start the journey from your idea to building a successful company. Great quote by Michael. Second stage, as we mentioned, the 5 steps of making headway, is explore. And in the explore stage, this is where you explore the market. that you and your product must compete in. The competition, you need to find out what your competition is like. You do a SWOT analysis, you do a competitive analysis to understand what are your competitors doing really well, what are they not doing so well, what areas are they threatened by, what new opportunities do they have, what would happen if they saw what you were doing and they wanted to compete. Understanding that is very important. Your target audience, who's your target audience? Where are they? Where do they live? What age are they? How much money do they make? Where are they mostly concentrated? Who are your early adopters within that target audience? Can they afford your product or service? How painful is the pain they're going through? Understanding that is very important. Market size, how big is it? How long will your target audience sustain the market? And then the tech trends. You want to understand the trend of your technology. Sometimes companies will build technology that is going to be obsolete in a few years. And sometimes we build technology that is not ready to be accepted. And so understanding the technology trends is very important. We speak more on that in our other presentation, 4 Steps to Build. We actually have a very short, brief program or course on that. If you go to our website at headwayidealabs.io and look for 4 Steps to Build. Also knowing the people, and I mentioned this about the early majority, late majority, and early adopters. The early adopters, they care about the company they're buying from, the quality of the product they're buying, the infrastructure of supporting products and system interfaces, and the reliability of the service they're going to get. Again, this is Jeffrey Moore. In the explore stage, I say know the people, know all the people, know the competitors, know the customers, know your early adopters. Even in the explore stage, you need to understand who your partners will be, what types of employees you potentially will bring on, but know the people, and know them intimately. The third stage is planning the next steps. Now, think about it. After you've done unlock and you've understood your mission, your vision, your values, and the solution, and we do a quick overview of your solution, but in unlock, you're understanding you and the value you're bringing to this business as a human being and as a product or service. Unlock, understanding you and your solution. Exploring the market, the people that you're going to interact with, from your customers as a majority to your early adopters, to your competitors, to partners. Understanding the people and also understanding the market. And then the plan stage, now that you understand you understand the competitors and your market and your potential customers, now's the best time to plan out what your product is going to look like. So we plan out with the development of a diverse core team, plan how your product will carefully address the pain that your customers may currently be experiencing, and at the same time, evaluate how to incorporate disruptive technologies, which we will also touch on. But now that you've done both unlock and explore, it's time to plan to build your solution. So many people come to me and they haven't done unlock or explore, and they've already built their product, and they have to go back to the drawing board. They have to go back to the beginning and make countless changes because they didn't do the first 2 stages. And Headway, on our platform, we have these stages laid out for those who may need them. And I talk about disruptive technologies because I like for startups and businesses and entrepreneurs and innovators and inventors to look at unlock and build their value proposition with a solution and you may be building your solution with some of these disruptive technologies, but if you're not, it's okay. But when you've gone through unlock and explore, and you come to plan and you decide what this product is going to finally look like and how it's going to solve the pain. Now's time to look at disruptive technologies, and you look at things like computer vision, blockchain, big data, um, tracking, which is GPS, IoT, LiDAR, AI, so many different types of disruptive technologies that are, even though you hear about them in the media, there's still, many of them are still in their infancy as far as application and bringing much stronger value to your business. So consider boosting your competitive advantage by looking at disruptive technologies. And then comes the build stage, where we also, as I mentioned before, we have 4 steps to build, but in the build stage, to reduce R&D costs and risk, which means research and development, the development cost, we suggest you go through our build stage presentation. We even have templates on there. It's free to go through, but we suggest you go through, look through our feasibility study, what that does, proof of concept, prototype, MVP, and then beta test, so on and so forth. The build stage is the 4th stage that the journey of an idea must go through to develop a successful idea or product. And then Headway has the development process, and again, this is what we do in the feasibility study. This is done in order to understand what needs to be done to develop your potential idea, and is it feasible, right? And so through the feasibility study, you do several things that are important. I do suggest you do some market research unless you've already done that. You research APIs, the complexity of the software development, so on and so forth. If it's hardware you're looking at, but you're doing some research on what it's going to take to build a proof of concept. And then the next stage to this is you build a proof of concept. And a proof of concept is a workable solution to validate the technology and product are feasible, right? You want to prove that it's feasible. So normally I suggest this is going to be an ugly prototype. You're buying parts off the shelf, you're doing wireframes, but it proves that what you're trying to do is feasible. And then if it's software, you're building a wireframe, as I mentioned, but then you get to the prototype beta stage where it's a much more working solution that you can introduce to your potential customers, get feedback from your customers, get validation from customers that this is exactly what they are looking for. And with that, you research international markets. And this is Headway's vision statement, which is interesting. We envision a world where entrepreneurs and innovators, through the eyes of their communities, develop technologies that address the core needs of the people in view of their cultural, social, economic, and political ecosystems. So Headway is a company, when we're looking at entrepreneurs and innovators and we're looking at new technology that they're going to develop, we want to ensure that they build tech that addresses the needs of the people they're developing their tech for, based on their customers' cultural, social, economic, and political ecosystems. Because those 4 ecosystems play a heavy part or influence on your customers accepting and using a product or service. The last stage to the 5 steps to make it Headway is the launch. And at this stage, it's time to launch into action, hopefully with the following components in place. So doing a pre-launch, and launches can take anywhere from 6 months to a year as you're launching and you're gaining feedback and you're making changes and you're pivoting, but not pivoting majorly. But by now, if you've done this accurately, you will not have to worry about doing any major pivots. But you will need to make some tweaks in your strategy. So don't get overwhelmed once you launch to think, oh, now that I've launched, where are all the customers? It takes a lot of hard work. So by then, you should have a marketing strategy based on social media, direct, PR, a sales strategy, what sales platform are you going to be using, what sales channels are you going to be using, And Headway, in our programs and our investor readiness programs, we have a very short training program on sales strategy and how to build a very brief sales strategy and determining what sales channels to use to launch your product. Also in launch, you should by now know your production, what production and manufacturing is going to look like, and have that stabilized, what quality controls is going to look like. Support and training, very, very critical. Many new software companies or hardware companies launch new products, and they haven't put in place a very good support and training program so that they can support any problems to support their clients. And obviously, maintenance. So that was the 5 steps to making headway and the journey of an idea. Now, if you go to our investor readiness programs, you will see these steps available to you. We also have templates in all our programs. These are just a sample of some of the templates we have. They're all PDFs, but you're able to enter data and information into these PDFs. We also have a funding platform that we launched. And this funding platform is for companies that are launching or within the US or Canada. And Headway is working with Funder to develop another funding platform for international companies, which will also work through Headway. Lastly, if you'd like to contact us, please use any of the different forms of communication and media to reach out to us. Our website is headwayidealabs.com or .io. You can reach me at info@headwayidealabs.com. There's our phone number. We're on Facebook and LinkedIn. Thank you again for walking with me through the journey of an idea. And my name again is Wesley Okeke at Headway Idea Labs. I do hope to either talk to you, see you, meet you, or be on that journey at some point with you with the journey of your idea. And thank you.